All right, so in this video, I'm gonna share with you how we get the attention of total strangers and turn it into a wildly profitable personal brand and business. And more importantly, how by watching this video, you're gonna learn how to do the exact same thing. So let's dive in. We literally know if we spend $1, we're going to make more money back that day, and this is how. So the first thing in the process starts with content. You see, when you're building your personal brand, it has so much more to do with than just running advertisements and selling people online. It has a lot to do with getting a tribe, getting a community and an audience of total strangers to begin to know, like, and trust you. And so over here, this is the part that I refer to as your KLT funnel. Know, like, and trust. So it's very important that you don't leave this content piece out of what we're gonna refer to as your ascension model and your plumbing funnel for your marketing machine. And so ultimately, when you just leave content out and you focus on the rest, you're an online marketer. You're a business who's selling products and services on social media and the internet. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you're not really building a personal brand. So let me show you how to do that. Basically, you start with content. It could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, YouTube, it could be a podcast. These are our 4 primary channels: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and a podcast. And it costs us literally 1 penny. 1 penny to get somebody to watch our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or listen to our podcast. It costs a penny on average. Sometimes it costs more, sometimes it can cost less, but on average, after spending a lot of money, this is the average, 1 penny. And so when you're wondering, how do I get people to listen to my content, my story, my interview, my message, read my book, listen to my podcast, whatever it may be, it costs a penny if you follow our process that we share with you on how to leverage these different platforms to get your audience and your prospective clientele to know, like, and trust you through the form of entertaining and educating content. You see, the biggest mistake people make is they just put out information. They put content out online and they hope and they pray that somebody ends up watching it. And that's rarely the case. And so you need to spend/invest, better word, invest your money, a penny, a day on different pieces of content. And ultimately, I mean, when you see that it starts to work and you get, you know that if you spend $1, you'll get a couple hundred views or whatever. You spend $10 or $100, you're gonna get tens of thousands of views. And when you start spending thousands of dollars, you're going to reach hundreds of thousands to millions of people. And so your content is now going to start reaching people. The next part in the process, and this all leads to us making millions of dollars, and more importantly, how you can too by following this process, but it all starts with content. Okay, now if you're watching this video, it's probably because you ended up watching our free masterclass where we explain a lot more in detail on this. And if you haven't, you can go back and you can watch that. But more importantly, this is really diving into the nitty-gritty numbers here that I did not talk about in the webinar. And this shows you how for 1 penny we get people to watch our content, how for 5 cents, 5 pennies, we can get somebody to see one of our advertisements. And so what we do is we take somebody from our content, we put a pixel, an engagement pixel on our content, and then we're able to track who's actually watching our content. And then at a strategic time, we're able to then place an advertisement in front of them. And it costs about 5 to 10 times more. Sometimes it could cost even more than that. And that's why just running ads can be expensive, especially if you don't know your customer acquisition costs and your customer lifetime value. It becomes very difficult for you to know how much money to invest when spending money online. You see, most people say, Mark, what should my budget be for content and ads? Because they're separate things. My budget for spending money on content and my budget for investing on ads. That's the wrong question. You see, if you knew that every day you spent $10,000, you'd make $12,000 or $15,000 that same day, your question would not be, how much should I spend? It would be, how do I get as much money as I can on my content and my ads? Because I know with absolute certainty in a scientific formula, it's gonna come back tenfold or twofold or threefold. And so that's what I'm referring to here is if you know how to follow our process, you'll be able to confidently invest money in getting your content out to millions. You'll be able to confidently know how to invest strategically money to get people to see an ad, because when I know that if I spend a penny, somebody sees my content, I know that if I spend 5 pennies, somebody will see my ad, and I know that if I spend $4, I will get somebody to register for our webinar. And so a penny for content, 5 pennies for somebody to watch one of our ads, and then it costs about $4 to get somebody to visit the landing page and register for the webinar. And then it cost us about $12 to get somebody to actually show up on the webinar. How is that if it only costs $4 to get them to register? Why does it cost $12 to get them to show up? Well, you see, on average, 66% of the people who register don't show up. They just go down here into our email nurturing funnel. And so this is fantastic because I know that it's an opportunity where the person, for whatever reason, got busy, got distracted, and maybe this happened to you as well with our webinar, is you just didn't finish the whole thing, or you just didn't show up at all. You registered, and now you're getting emails. Perhaps that's how you got this video training as well. I emailed it to you, and then you went to a landing page, and that's where you're watching this. And so we put people into an email nurturing sequence where we deliver massive amounts of value to you completely for free until you feel like you know, like, and trust me and my team and company enough to say, you know what, I want to invest, I want to pull the trigger, I want to go all in on building my personal brand, impacting millions of people, and learning how to turn that into a multiple six-figure or even multiple seven-figure income stream by leveraging personal branding and online marketing and content while positioning yourself as the authority and thought leader. And so it costs $4 to get you to register for a webinar. It costs $12 to get somebody to actually show up, because statistically, if 3 people register, 2 of them are not going to actually show up. They're just going to go into our email sequence. They're going to continue to see our content online. They're even going to get retargeted with more content and ads, meaning they're coming back here. And now, again, about 5 cents or less, maybe more, it depends, we can put an ad in front of them and say, hey, you missed our webinar, you didn't show up. I'm emailing you, hey, you missed our webinar, you didn't show up. You're seeing content, advertisements that are retargeting you based on your behavior, and you're getting emails based on your behavior. And so $4 to get them to register and get into our email, $12 to get them to actually show up on the webinar. And then here's the real kicker. It cost us about $500 to get somebody, that's our CAC, customer acquisition cost. It cost us about $500 to get somebody to buy our course and make the intelligent and strategic investment in themselves and their future and in their family and in their business, to pull the trigger and make an investment of at least a minimum of $1,000 to become part of our membership and our community and our personal branding accelerator. And so it cost us about $500 to get somebody to pull the trigger and make the intelligent and strategic investment in themselves, to invest $1,000, which may or may not be a lot depending on where you're at. It's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. Money is just money. It's just pieces of paper. And so when somebody makes the strategic decision to invest pieces of paper in exchange for knowledge, one of the most valuable investments you can ever get is investing in yourself, in your knowledge, to be able to take more strategic actions in the right direction to achieve a specific result and a goal that you're after. And that might be impacting more people. That might be making more money so that you can have more time to travel the world and spend more time with your family and loved ones and do the things that really fulfill you and make you passionate. You see, most people say follow your passions and the money will come, and I don't really believe that, especially after interviewing over 1,000 millionaires, billionaires, celebrities, and influencers online. Is following your passion rarely makes you money, you see, because your passion could be juggling, and there's just not a lot of money in that. Where if you learn how to do this stuff effectively, like I have, I committed to doing this. I saw online and I said, these guys are doing crazy stuff like this, and if I could just learn how to master it in the next 3, 5, 10 years, I don't care how long it takes, because I'm committed to the outcome. And the reason why most people don't get in shape is because they're looking for the new way to shortcut their success. And that's fine. I'm all for shortening the gap. That's why our company's called that. I don't think it has to take a long time to get a result, but I do think you have to commit to the result in the first place and the process, because you see, this could have taken me 10 years to figure out. Instead, it only took me 5. And so I wasn't looking at the scoreboard, so to speak. I wasn't saying, well, how long has it been? It's not working. I just knew that I would figure it out someday. And if it wasn't from this person, or this person, maybe it would be from that person. And I would never give up on myself and the goal that I had. And the good thing is I'm here in my $1 million home in Orange County. My fiance and my puppy are upstairs. She's retired. She gets to do what she wants. She gets to follow her passions because I've worked hard and I've worked smart to set up a system in a business that is almost like an ATM machine, but I walk up to it and I just take money out. And I'll get to that number in a little bit down here. But again, back to this, because I'm just so passionate about helping people like yourself understand that this can change your life. It changed my life. I'm able to travel the world. I have an amazing life that allows me to impact people in a way that fulfills me every single day, and film videos like this in my house or at my fancy studio for my TV show, Business Rockstars, and literally just live the life that I've always wanted and impact people the way I wanted, because I have a marketing machine and a personal brand that allows me to make millions of dollars. And I know you can do the same thing. It took me 5 years. If you follow my process and I could start over, I would not take 5 years. I could probably do it in maybe 18 months or 12 months, maybe even faster. And I've had some clients, one of our best clients went from $600,000 to $10 million. in 12 months. 600,000 to 10 million in just 12 months by following our process here. And so, what you're capable of achieving with this is the ball's in your court. I know the process works. And so a penny to watch content, 5 pennies to watch an ad, $4 to register for a webinar, $12 to get somebody to show up to the webinar because 2 out of 3 people don't show up. 2 people don't show, 1 person does. Those 2 people that don't show go into our email sequence where I get to nurture them and take care of them and provide them more value because they just weren't ready, and that's fine. And so over here, at the end of the day, the most important number I care about is how much did it cost to acquire a customer, and then what was the profit? So P&L, profit and loss, or profit and expense. And so I spend 500, I make 1,000, I actually only profit 500, and then on that 500, I actually have expenses because I have employees and different operating costs. So I do profit about 500, but there's a few more expenses on that. And that's what you have to understand is some of these people will say, I make $1 million a month. I go, what'd you keep? Because I know at the end of the day, if you're making $1 million a month in any business, especially the online business, you have about 50% of that revenue in the cost of marketing. And so really, if you do $1 million a month, you're really only doing 500,000 a month, maybe, and then on top of that, you have expenses. Now, you're still making millions of dollars, hopefully, if your business model is right and your margins are right and your team and your expenses and accounting and finances are right. But at the end of the day, I just want to give you this inside perspective so that you know literally the process for how we use content for a penny to get total strangers to see educating and entertaining content by me, and then get them to eventually, through consistency and repetition, leverage something called the mere exposure effect, where this has been studied since the 1860s, 1870s, and it basically states that you, me, your customers, prospects, partners, whoever, we start to become familiar with something the more we see it. And the more we see something, the more consistent and comfortable it becomes, and the more we eventually start to trust it. For example, Coca-Cola. We know Coca-Cola is not good for us, but billions and billions of dollars are generated every year from selling Coca-Cola. How? Because people see Coca-Cola ads all over the place. Literally, you've probably seen a Coca-Cola ad today. You weren't even aware of it because it's all over the place. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars for you and I to see Coca-Cola ads, never telling us go buy the product, just putting it on the internet so we see it, putting it everywhere so we see it. And then we believe, well, Coca-Cola can't be that bad for me because it wouldn't be everywhere if it was bad. That just wouldn't be allowed. That's what we believe. McDonald's is not good for us. Coca-Cola is not good for us, but they're everywhere because they spend so much money and they've been around so long that we start to have the mere exposure effect kick in. We see it so much, we start to think it must be normal. It must be okay. It must be a trustworthy company that can't really be feeding me poison. Wrong. It's not good for you. Okay, so we had a technical issue, but we're back. The lighting might be a little different. I apologize. So we were talking about how the mere exposure effect can literally help you become the authority simply by getting more people to watch your content and to see your advertisements consistently online. So just like the big brands, the Fortune 500 that have huge budgets, you're able to reach a specific audience. It's not necessarily about reaching the whole world, which is what those big brands like Coca-Cola and McDonald's try to do. It's more focused on you figuring out who are the 10,000 people, maybe 100,000, maybe 1 million or more, but it's a much smaller demographic than the whole planet. Who is that small audience to medium-sized audience that you want to use your content and your advertisements so that they see you consistently, they see quality, educational, entertaining content, so that over a few months and years, they start to know, like, and trust you at scale. You build a huge audience and tribe of people that know, like, and trust you, and it helps you become more impactful, more influential, and it helps you make a whole lot more money. So again, as I'm breaking down for you how we literally take complete strangers and turn them into a wildly profitable personal brand of business, it all comes back down to this. It costs 1 penny to get somebody to see content, 5 pennies to have somebody see our ad. It costs $4 to get somebody to register, cost per lead, register for our webinar, $12 to get them to show up, because like I said, 2 out of 3 people don't show up. They go into our email funnel, and then ultimately it costs us $500 to get somebody to buy our $1,000 product. And then if we were going to take them from a landing page over to a phone call to get them to have a phone call with us, us for our workshops or any of our high-end services, then it's $30. That's it. It costs $30 to get somebody on the phone, and then we can sell them on either a $2,500 workshop or anything higher than that. Like our highest service is $40,000 a month, roughly $500,000 a year. And so $30, we can get hundreds of people, thousands of people on the phone and end up becoming very profitable because the back end margin is very high. And then we have our email funnel, and the CLTV is customer lifetime value. We get a 569% return on ad spend. What that means is, if we look over here, if we spend, for example, 10 to 20 grand a day on ads, we'll potentially on average make $15,000 to $35,000 back in actual revenue, leaving us with about $5,000 to $15,000 of profit a day. And the cool thing is in this scenario, we might spend $1 and we might make roughly $1.50 to $2 back. So spend $1, make $1 to $2 back, but then we know that our lifetime value of a customer, every time we spend $1, will actually bring us back $5.69 over roughly an 18 to 24 month period. And so again, like I said, if you know your numbers, it's very easy to take complete and total strangers with content. The reason why they're on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook is not for your ads or anybody's ads and not to buy something. It's because they're on there for content. Entertaining or educating, they're on there for those purposes. So give them that and then spend a penny to put your entertaining and educating content in front of them all the time. Get them to see some advertisements down the road. When you are ready, you can then invest money to run ads. But in the beginning, the most important part is this. You do not need to have all of this mapped out. The very most important thing that you understand when you're building your personal brand is that you start using content. Because otherwise, it's not really a personal brand. In my opinion, if you're not using content, you're just an online marketer, you're an advertiser, you're a business selling stuff. That's not a personal brand. A personal brand is somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk, who puts out tons of content. Whether you buy something or not, he'll help you through his content. Same thing with Lewis Howes, a friend. He's somebody who puts out so much content. Whether you buy his stuff or not, he's going to help you. And that's where the personal brand comes in. And that's where the power is. And so again, this is how we take total strangers and turn it into $1 million business and impact tens of millions of people every single year, and be able to have myself go and travel and speak. And it's just the results of building your personal brand are life-changing, and we have so many thousands of people that we've worked with and taught this to. And the most important part of all of this is right here. Getting people to know, like, and trust you because you're putting content on the internet and you're investing $1 a day to get people to see that content. And again, it costs a penny per view. I'm making the distinction, a penny per view, but it costs $1. You have to give Facebook $1. You can't give Facebook a penny. You have to give them $1. But that means you'll get 100 people to see your video or more. And so again, this is the process that we follow. I hope it's helpful for you to see from the backside of a personal brand how you actually turn it into a multi-million-dollar business. And you see a lot of online influencers, they just have a big following. They only promote content, and they almost, for the most part, don't even spend money. They've done a great job, which is very difficult to do, at getting hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people to follow them on social media because they post entertaining and educating content. But they have none of this, for the most part, from what I've seen from so many different hundreds of influencers that have huge followings, much larger than mine. But I make a lot more money than they do, and I impact a lot more people, not because of my followers, but because I have a real business behind my personal brand. And so as I'm on the path to getting my personal brand millions of followers, in the meantime, I don't care about that. What I care about is real results that I'm able to track and measure and grow. And those results are my ability to spend and invest my money to reach tens of millions of people online. They may not become a follower. That's okay. I'm able to reach tens of millions of people every single year by strategically investing my money in a process that takes a complete stranger who sees my content eventually to my ads, and ultimately through a process that I'm able to track and monitor and measure every single penny, and then figure out down here how every time I spend $1, I make $1.50 to $2 back that same day. But over 18 months to 24 months, that same dollar I spent already made me a profit on day one. And within 18 to 24 months, I turned that dollar into $5.69. So imagine if you gave me $1. I instantly gave you back $1.50, and that $1.50 became $5.69 within 18 months. That may not sound like a lot because it's a small number, but imagine if you invested $1 million, I immediately gave you back 1.5 million, maybe 2 million, and that same 1.5 to 2 million became 5.69 million. So you invested $1 million on ads and content, and within 18 months, it became 5.69 million. Now those numbers are exciting, and they're the exact same numbers that we're getting here, because all I'm doing to make it simple is show you the dollar. But really, if I spend $1 million, I'll make 5 million like that. It'll just take 18 months. If I spend $1 million, I'll make 1.5 to 2 million instantly. But over time, because of the lifetime value of my email sequence and my content continuing to nurture and take care of people, we make a lot more money on the back end. So I hope this is helpful. Again, you'll see the button below this video. If you haven't already and you're watching this and you haven't joined the Personal Branding Accelerator membership, what are you doing? Get off the fence, take action. I'm gonna continue to nurture you and take care of you, whether you're in our community or not. But what I can promise you and what I can guarantee you is that when you invest in joining our membership, you not only get to watch cool trainings I'm gonna send you for free, but you actually get to have one-on-one coaching with me on our group video calls that we do every single week forever, until you've gotten so many incredible results. You're like, hey, I don't need to jump on these calls anymore. You've made me enough money. I've built my brand and my business. It runs without me. Great, but let me get you there first. And so for one investment of $9.97, you can literally join the Accelerator program right now, build and grow your personal brand so that you can impact more people, you can make more money, and you can build your personal brand to be influential, more impactful, and to become the authority and the thought leader that I know you really desire to have, so that you're the one everyone's watching online. You're the one people are showing up to events and seminars and conferences to see you speak on stage. They're listening to your podcast, reading your best-selling book, all because you followed a proven process that all the top people online are following. You just don't know what it is yet. I'm going to keep sending you valuable content, but my heartfelt wish is that A, you take action with this content so that you can get results and either make enough money to invest in our course from the free stuff I'm giving you, or if you already know that the value is priceless, to just invest $9.97 or 3 payments of $3.99 right now to join the Personal Branding Accelerator membership, where you get over 100 hours of step-by-step trainings. This is just kind of me explaining this. In the membership, you've got very structured, very articulate, and step-by-step, almost like a recipe, formulated videos, over 100 hours of them, and the workbook, and the blueprint, and the scripts, and the infographics, so that you can literally just follow a recipe and get the results that you want with your personal brand. And then I'm on video coaching you and answering your questions live every single week forever. And then you also get lifetime access to our private Facebook community with thousands of amazing clients, thought leaders, influencers, and people who are starting their personal brands, and people who are already doing 8 figures, which is over $10 million with their personal brands and online businesses. That's the community you're going to be a part of. Imagine having a network that supports you, that you can ask questions to, that you can network and collaborate and create partnerships with. We've had multi-million-dollar partnerships happen as a result of 2 different individuals meeting each other in our community and deciding to take what we teach in our community, which is how to structure joint ventures and affiliate deals in a very lucrative way that's mutually beneficial. All of these things are just waiting for you on a silver platter on the other side of the program, that you just need to take action right now. You're going to love how it feels to know that you have a proven process and a recipe that all you have to do is follow. All the questions, all the uncertainty, everything is taken out. All you got to do is click the button now, invest in the program, and I'll see you in the Personal Branding Accelerator membership, in the community, and on the live weekly coaching calls, so that you, more importantly, can follow a process to take total strangers and turn that into a wildly profitable personal brand and online business.
You go somewhere else and you ask someone for this same content and you're paying 30 grand, period. I've gotten extreme value from working with Mark, being here at this seminar, getting involved with one of his VIP days. changed the game.
Every time I talk with him, I leave with more confidence myself. I leave with thinking bigger for everything that I want to do.
He over-delivers. He goes above and beyond, and he genuinely wants to help you and put you in a position to succeed.
He's giving us direct insight on how he will look at a campaign, how he's looking at engagement, looking at content. Have somebody like that who's gonna lay out the blueprint, all you have to do is just duplicate it.
Within 15 minutes, I got an execution plan, and it's gonna change my whole life.
In one 30-day period of time with Mark's coaching and his help, I made over $150,000 in profit.
There's nobody that shouldn't hire Mark if you're truly serious about growing your company and, more importantly, your personal brand in order to elevate the whole thing.